In our reality, there are things of absolution and things of relativity. Things of existential insight and things of science and rationality. Today, I'm going to make a statement that is both absolutely true, but also relatively true, and a scientifically proven fact. Now, you have to understand when I state this objective fact that I have no emotional connection to the show whatsoever. Berserk 1997 is the best anime ever made. I didn't know anything about this show coming into it, and in my opinion, that's the best way to watch it. If you have not seen Berserk, then I recommend that you watch it before watching the rest of this video, as I will be setting an expectation for the show's beginning, middle, and ending in this video. If you want to watch the show blind without any such expectations, do not proceed. Thank you. The first episode of Berserk is kind of a WTF did I just watch kind of thing. If you've seen the show without going back and re-watching episode 1, then you really should go and do that right now. Just trust me, it makes sense. The less polished feel of older animation compared to modern digital animation is something that many people love and adore. Unfortunately, Berserk's animation has not aged well because it's actually visual cardboard. You look at the first half of the show and you think, this anime is old and sucks balls. There's very little actual motion in the animation. It's like reverse Hunter x Hunter. Every time they attempt to portray action, they end up using a still panning image that goes across the screen and has some mediocre sound effect behind it. Even the characters are just boring, regular people with the same medieval clothes and the same medieval armor in the same medieval world. But wait, realistic character designs and coloration? Wait, every character looks not only like a regular, actual human being whose existence you can believe in, but is also visually unique and distinguishable from every other character in the show? Wait, the colors are actually visually pleasing? Okay, I give the visuals a 4 out of 10. Although serviceable, the sound effects are nothing amazing, but the vast majority of the voice acting is truly great, and the actors manage to deliver some incredibly raw and emotional dialogue. The music in Berserk has a very old 90s sound to it that takes you off guard in the beginning, but only gets better as the show goes on. The show doesn't rely too much on music, but when it is there, it helps amplify the atmosphere greatly. But because of how little it's used, it's not until the show is over that you realize that this soundtrack is that masterpiece after masterpiece kind of shit. Berserk is a roller coaster that means business, and thankfully, its tracks are sturdy. Whether it's the sound of companionship and beauty, or the sound of pure terror as you realize that you're standing face to face with a horror more ancient than time itself. But you push through this overbearing darkness because of the beautiful music and the magical characters who have the power of friendship and togetherness and plot armor and the hero of light. I give the sound a 9 out of 10. 50% of the characters in this show are unlikable dickheads from when you first meet them. And it's because of this realistic unlikability and conflicts between the characters throughout the story that you don't notice how much you end up caring about these people as time goes on, because that's exactly what they are to you. People. They are regular people, just like you and me, but only in a more messed up world with wars and killing as part of their otherwise ordinary lives. And like with real human beings, you have relationships that blossom and change slowly over time. And eventually the main characters become something that feels like family. And even if a member of that family can sometimes be kind of a dickhead, he's our dickhead. If you've ever heard of the term nakama, well, this is it. I give the characters a 10 out of 10. I'm about to talk about the ending, so if you don't want to know about that, here's the spoiler warning. Get out. Do you guys remember that kids' TV show from the early 90s called The Animals of Farthing Wood that ended up accidentally depressing and traumatizing half the children in all of Western civilization at the time? This is kind of like the adult version of that. It's like a nice grandpa who lures you in with his innocent and kind demeanor, and then he turns into Satan himself and he's coming at you with 100 miles an hour. It takes every cliche you've ever experienced in media about the hero of the light, who's destined for great things, and protected by plot armor, and kicks it in the balls. The final 4 episodes of Berserk changes a man. The eclipse is a shock to the system. It's a bucket of ice water. If anime had a difficulty like video games, Berserk would be a 10 out of 10 difficulty. It would be like Halo on Legendary, like Dark Souls, if only Dark Souls wasn't made for children. It just whoops the viewer's ass. And if you're an empath like me, and you had just begun your deep existential, meditative inquiry and questioning of the nature of fiction and reality, as well as the very existence and structure of evil itself, when you started watching Berserk, then you will be more affected and challenged by this show than you can predict. For the majority of the runtime, it seems like your average 90s anime. But by the end, I was in a state of pure shock and pain. I wish I could tell you that, no matter how you slice it, Berserk is a good slice. But the truth is that I felt like I was watching a man's world crumble. And at the same time, it was my world that was crumbling. But Berserk is about more than just trauma. It's about the ability to keep moving forward, even when life deals you some really tough cards. And that's when it hit me. How many times has the eclipse actually happened to someone else in Berserk without the viewer noticing because it's from a different perspective? How many families and lives has the Band of the Hawk taken and ruined in their years of war? And then I thought, we all have evils that we struggle against. Only in real life the evil isn't somewhere out there, it's inside of you. Now, I'm not going to go further into this in this video, but suffice it to say that Berserk's portrayal of not only philosophical concepts, but the human psyche goes deep as hell. And it's one of those shows that only gets better and better the more you think about it, and it never cracks. And for that reason, Berserk holds a very special place in my heart, right next to Clannad Afterstory, and the amazing people that were inside Kyoto Animation's main studio. So just remember, kids, that if you put your glasses on, nothing will be wrong.